Welcome back, troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Today's video is sponsored by Somnium Guitars, and that's really good news for you because you're going to have the chance to win one of their $1,600 guitar packages. This guitar, with your choice of in-stock pickups and a Gator hardshell case. All you have to do is participate in the TSM Guitar Contest. What is this, you ask? Well, it's the Trogly Somnium Guitar Contest, and it is a riff contest. The beauty behind this is you don't have to be a fantastic guitar player to write a killer riff. In fact, most of the best sounding riffs are simple. There is no reason you shouldn't enter, none at all. So here's what you do. First, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. You might even consider sharing the news with your friends. Second, head on over to my website where you can download the drum backing track. I've also got a link down in the description. From there, create an original riff of your own and record it, either on your phone or through more professional means. Just use whatever's available to you. Then upload it to YouTube with the title Somnium Guitar Contest. From there, both Somnium and myself will have some say in the final judging. Catchy riffs are what we're focused on, but creativity in the video and the reactions of others will also be considered in the judging. Only one can win, and the contest is open worldwide. However, the only catch is if you're outside the continental USA, you'll have to help cover additional shipping costs. Entries will be accepted until July 20th, so that gives you roughly 2.5 weeks to get something together. I will be making a compilation video to announce the winner. So even if you don't win first prize, you might still end up on the show. And if you're bummed that you didn't win the contest and you need a Somnium guitar in your life, you can head on over to their website and use the discount code TROGLY. And I think you'll be very happy with that discount. Good luck, everyone. And now let's learn all about this maker of guitars and why you should be really excited for this opportunity. Somnium Guitars, Somnium standing for dream, was founded in 2016 under the basis of them wanting to create a very versatile instrument that can use many different pickups that are easy to switch in and out of. Now, this is a concept I've always wanted to try. Gibson actually did this a while ago for demo models in store that the pickups could be swapped in and out. But Somnium has made this even easier to do. When they first debuted their products in Winter NAMM of 2017, they came out with a guitar that you could not only do this hot swap of the pickups, you could change the body style. From like a Telecaster, Stratocaster to like a Flying V. And if that wasn't enough, you could even swap out the fretboard. Then your mind just gets completely blown when you have the option of a hardtail fixed bridge and a tremolo. Since then, their product line has grown and they've decided to mainly build upon the hot swap pickup technology, but they still will build you one of those other ones on special order. But all these instruments and pickups are made in the USA, the electronics, bodies, and cartridges are made in Brooksville, Florida, and the necks are made in Virginia. And these range anywhere from $15.99 in price all the way up to $3,500, depending on how many pickups you want. So now that we have the history out of the way, let's go ahead and unbox the one they sent me.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually really excited to open this because this whole concept has always been really intriguing to me. So I'm happy I get to try it out and let you guys know how I feel about it. Now, Somnium has asked me not to read the instructions, not to do anything. Just, have at it like I normally do and see if, it's foolproof. So it seems like they definitely took some nice protective care by having the styrofoam blocks in here to kind of help secure it from moving. They've given me a case. Looks like that one latch came undone, but I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Here we go. I'm actually really excited to see what body style they sent me because they didn't tell me and I didn't really want them to tell me either. I'm kind of hoping I got the Steinberger styled one. That'd be interesting, but I was also hoping I could tie this in with a Fender Friday with the Telly style, maybe the Stratocaster style, but let's see what's in here. Oh, it's the block. I'm kind of happy they sent this one to me because in photos, I thought this was just the ugliest thing ever. But the more and more I was looking at it, the more I was like, you know, that is a unique shape that you can't say that they're stealing anybody else's design. And first impressions right here. It's a lot better than I thought it was gonna look. I was expecting a satin finish, really plain looking wood like they had on their website. But I mean, take a look at this thing. They sent me a really nice piece of what I would guess is maple. I'm not really sure. I'll have to ask them, see what the actual specs are here. But they've got these nice contours, so I bet it'll be kind of comfortable to play. It's a little bit blocky, kind of BC Rich-esque in my opinion. But I guess, let's see. It reminds me of a Telecaster in its width. So it seems like we've got some nice electronics here. I'm kind of interested to see. Yeah, I can get back in there, so we will be able to throw this one on the workbench and see how this all works. Now the neck, it's got what I would call like a semi-gloss finish to it. Like it's not super sticky glossy. It is bolt-on in construction. It looks like stock from the factory. We have Dunlop strap locks. And I'm happy to see that they've kind of stylized their headstock a little bit more. The neck profile is thin but rounded, which honestly, it kind of feels like it gets pretty flat up here at the same time. So it's like really good for chords right here, but you know, better for the soloing stuff. That's strange how that happens. Another thing, I'll swap over to my other camera here. It looks like we've got abalone inlays. That's kind of a nice little touch right there. That's nice of them. They even gave me a strap for the demo. Components and controls. They said don't touch it. Don't read them. We're not going to touch them. So it looks like we've got EMG humbucker, some sort of plain humbucker, a single coil Telecaster style, and a neck pickup Telecaster one. I'm not much of a whammy bar player, but hey, we'll see. So first impressions here. It's better than I thought it was going to be so far. So far so good, right? But I want to go ahead and throw this on the workbench and let's take a quicker look at these pickups before we actually start to hear how it sounds, because I'm more interested in how it works. Because let's face it, if you can play guitar really well, you can play really well on anything.
Here we are on the workbench. Much better lighting conditions. I decided I'm going to use the instructions after all because there's a few things about this that got me a little bit confused. First off, this threw me for a whole loop. It's not a three-way selector switch, and no, it's not broken. It just goes in 100 million different directions. And at first, I wasn't a huge fan of it. But looking at the instructions, it's basically two three-way switches combined. So you have an upper position and a lower position. So when it's facing you, it's acting like normal. So you got your neck and middle, and then just your bridge pickup. But then you can also switch it up. So in this position, you'll have neck and middle together. This one will be just the middle, and then the bridge and middle. So once you take 2 seconds to wrap your mind around that, here's the diagram to help you visualize it. Then your knobs here are master volume, master tone, and this one's a gain knob if your pickup will allow for it. Spec-wise, this is an ambrosia maple body, and they call this body shape Vision. I really think they should rename it something cooler like the Log. I think Les Paul had something named like that, so maybe the King's Stump. It's a doofy shape, but I kind of like quirky things like that. The only thing I wish they would have done is a comfort carve right here on your arm. Just by noodling around on this a little bit, I'm noticing that there's a little bit more comfort features that could be added to this to make it even better. But this has a recessed Kaler USA tremolo system on it. I think this is the first tremmed guitar that I can be like, yeah, it's going to stay in tune. Because on top of all this, they have locking hip shot tuners, and so far I'm really impressed with this setup. The neck is maple and appears to be crafted with a scarf joint, and this one does have the abalone inlay. But now let's get into what everybody wants to see here. This big gaping hole. If only they had a plug-in piezo right here so you could just have this like acoustic guitar looking thing going on. But no, here you can see the inside of the body. Got a bunch of wires and stuff kind of routed in there. Got a lot of flame right there, that's for sure. But it's kind of all on the back here. Essentially, those wires that we saw are kind of wrapped around this back plate, which is then screwed down in these two locations that have a pin connector of some sort right here. So essentially, this part right here then comes in contact with those connectors. Now, it's really easy to put these things in. You've got these little gripper bits right here that move these grippers on the outside to secure it into place there. So watch how it goes in. You're good to go. You can pick the guitar up by it. I mean, that's a pretty strong hold right there. See, right off the workbench. And the other thing is, this isn't like cheap plastic or anything. It's actually metal. Take a listen. That's something like when I watched other people's demo of these guitars, I just thought that, it was like plastic or something. No, that's pretty nice metal stuff. This will definitely last a long time. And the other thing that I'm really digging here is you're not just stuck with these pickups. Now, they sent me 5 cartridges here that I can, mix and play with, but I want to do something on top of this that I haven't seen anybody else do. I want to take one of these pickups and swap it out for something that I have lying around here. Alright, so I'm not the biggest EMG fan in the world, so let's go ahead and see if I can put this double white DiMarzio in here with my limited skill now. So the way this works is you've got these little screwdriver bits right here that clamp the wires into place. You don't actually have to solder or anything. It's just kind of held in place right there by that screw, which completes the circuit. Now you can see this EMG is based on a quick connect system, but that doesn't actually matter in this case. All you need are the bare wires. So we'll just go in here and loosen them like this. I think the hardest thing about this will be knowing which terminals to put all your stuff. That might take a little bit of research, but I don't think it's that hard to do. See, they just pull out just like that. You just need your bare wire exposed, so you might have to buy some wire strippers or something. But that's that pickup out of there. The only thing else securing it into this plate are these. That's the other thing, in case you're wondering, yes, you can still adjust your pickup height. Alright, that's that out. Here's another plus side, you don't have to worry about how long your lead wires are. You can buy those really short ones for super cheap and still use them. So here's our instructions on this. It looks like I just need terminal 1 and terminal 4, and I should be good with this passive pickup. Here's another nice feature. It looks like they thought about if you had a different spaced pickup, so they actually have 2 holes drilled right here to help you line them up right. And the supplied springs aren't the kinds that are actually a pain in the butt to swap out, so this is actually pretty easy. So I think if I just wrap my wire around the pickup a couple of times, we won't have to worry about this extra lead length. Alright, so I think I did that right. We'll have to find out. I might have to switch those wires around. I couldn't really determine which one was 1 and which one was 7. By the way, it looks like you could make this whole process a lot easier if you just take this top plate off with the hex key. Now, I'm really curious how they did the wiring for this. And as soon as I took the screws off of here, they even made the back plate out of metal. Now that's dedication right there. So this is interesting. It looks like they have an EMG quick connect set up within this that also works within their magical 6-way switch. So this is all quick connect. This is kind of quick connect in a way. So the electronics really are not too fancy or anything. And inside here is your 9-volt battery. And if your pickups aren't active, it just doesn't use the stuff. It just magically works. So you don't have to worry if the pickup is active or not. That's really handy. The output jack is kind of like a Telecaster style, kind of recesses into the body a little bit right there. This particular version is a bolt-on neck. You can see they have sculpted it away so it's kind of more comfortable to play. I mean, it's not like an all-access heel joint or anything, but it's pretty good. The nut width on this model is 1.65 inches, which increases to 2.04 at the 12th. First fret neck depth, 0.81 inches, which increases to 0.91 at the 12th. The scale length is 25.5 inches. And with everything installed, the log only weighs 8 pounds 5 ounces. It's chunky for a Stratocaster Telecaster style guitar, but I'm used to 9-10 pound Les Pauls, so it's comfortable to me. But each pickup assembly is about 10 ounces. So let's go ahead and get some hands-on experience playing this thing. I'm running this through my Mesa Boogie Mark 525 on the clean channel with just a little bit of reverb, and that's going into my 2 notes torpedo, which I'm recording live. Obviously, without any pickups, it doesn't make any sounds. Well, let's go ahead and throw one of the Telecaster pickups in the neck position. Now, something I really like about this is there's no huge snapping sound. I mean, there's a very tiny one, but it's nothing that's really gonna disrupt anything on stage. That's even less than unplugging the output jack. But now let's say we're curious what a neck pickup Telecaster pickup sounds like in the bridge position. I think this is my favorite thing about this guitar, is that as a pickup demoer, you would just be able to do so much with this. So here it is, already in the bridge pickup, ready to go. So let's go ahead, switch it back to normal and make it like a Telecaster. Now the bridge pickup. So let's go ahead and swap these out for something else. So they have these mini cartridges. They sell them separately for $89.95. So you can put whatever pickup in there that you want. They'll route it out for a humbucker. They'll route it for a single coil, P90, whatever you want. It's the same price. But for only $20 more, which I feel is a pretty good deal, you can get a complete setup right here. So this is 3 pickups, kind of a Stratocaster setup with EMGs. I'll switch over to a different cabinet here. We'll do metal 2. Let's go ahead and test out this Kaler real time. That's pretty impressive for not having a locking nut or anything. So you can really hammer on this thing and it comes back really close, if not perfect most times. Let's go ahead and try something else. Let's do the bridge Telecaster pickup in the neck position. But then I want my DiMarzio in the bridge. Gotta say, I'm really happy I put this DiMarzio in here. It sounds fantastic. So that's really the power of this. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a huge fan, personally, of some of the pickups that he sent. But that's because I'm not a big EMG guy. But it seems like that's the market he's going for here. But as I just showed you, you can put anything in these. And I'm really happy I got something more vintage style now. I do want to show you one more pickup here. This is their signature pickup. Now, what's interesting about this pickup is this is the one that uses that gain control. So I'm now back just to my clean channel on my amp. So we'll go ahead and listen a little bit to it right now. Now is the neck pickup. This pickup kind of has a breakup to it, but I think that's just because of how it's kind of wired in here. So back to the bridge pickup now. So you can hear, just with this knob, I'm getting a gain. So you guys get the idea, right? You can swap out any pickup without any soldering or anything like that. They're pretty easy to move in and out. You could do this on stage in between songs, or really just between a solo and a regular part of the song even. And hey, if you need a lighter guitar, just operate it as a one pickup thing. That's what I'm liking the best. Because if you're ever one of those people that you're like, oh, my pickup's getting in the way of my playing, now you just have a big gaping hole here. I've always liked one pickup guitars for that reason. They're super easy to use. So now that we know how this instrument is made and how it works, what are my final real thoughts about this thing? Yeah, it's a sponsored video, but I'm going to tell you the good, bad, and ugly here. The pros, it's incredibly versatile, it's easy to use, it plays really nicely as well. But the most important thing is it sounds good. And you can't tell me it doesn't sound good because you can put whatever pickup in here and dial it in whatever way you want. This will do anything. But here's the cons. They're kind of pricey for a non-name brand guitar. I mean, they're starting at $15.99 on their website for their base models. This one, I'm sure it's probably somewhere around $2,500 because of the nicer woods that were used on it. So it is definitely an investment at that point, and that might scare a lot of people away. The other cons is, I'll be honest, their designs, they're kind of unattractive. I've kind of grown used to this one because I gave it a funky nickname like the King's Stump. But playing it it just doesn't feel like it's quite been dialed in yet. It's got certain comfort features that we've already talked about, but I would really like to see them introduce a comfort carve right here like a Stratocaster has. And maybe just sculpt the body a little bit more so it's not as blocky. Another little cool feature that I did like here with the finish is the edge of the headstock is a dark lacquer and then it kind of moves to the lighter maple color. It reminds me of a piece of cheese. So it's kind of a cheesy guitar, but I think they could do a little bit more with just how this presents itself cosmetically. Like maybe if it's not a registered trademark of Gibson, do a stinger in that color. So basically the whole backside of the headstock is that ambered color, but then it kind of comes to a point down here. I think that would look kind of interesting. They've already kind of changed their headstock designs from a blocky feature to this. So being a new company, this is just the beginning. I'm sure they've got a long way to go. But who do I think this is useful for? Is it useful for every single professional player out there? Not necessarily. This is more so what I view as a session musician's dream. You've got a job to do and you need multiple sounds within one guitar. You don't want to lug 6 or 7 of them into the studio. This thing, just as simple as that. You can swap them around, do whatever you need to do, get the tones you need. The way I see it is you invest like $3,000 or $4,000 into a quality instrument. You get all the different pickup casings you could ever need, and you just carry around your guitar case. And within the case, all those pickups, as you saw, they'll fit in there. If you need more, you could carry a separate suitcase of them. And then a pedal board, and you're good to go. But the other aspect of this one speaks to me. This is like something perfect for somebody who reviews pickups. They also said they can put like pedals within the pickup in a very similar format, but they didn't want to go too far into that because that's a little bit crazy. But that would make a pickup review so simple because not only can you show what it sounds like wherever it's supposed to be, like the bridge if it's specific, but you can easily just, once again, swap these things out. You want to know what it sounds like in the neck? All right, let's go ahead and do that. That's so much easier than soldering these things around. And that's what it's all about, convenience. It's not necessarily because you can't solder, it's just because this is way faster and a lot more practical. But as a guitar store, I think this could help you sell a boatload of pickups if you just bought one of these. Because that is the easiest way to sell a pickup, let somebody experience it. It's not necessarily practical to install every pickup that everybody wants to hear, but with this, it really is easy enough that any guitar salesman could be trained in like 5 minutes how to set one of these up for someone. So a few other improvements I would like to talk about is there might be a way they could make this look more visually attractive. On this particular model, it looks a little bit ugly having this big black thing right here. I thought maybe they could offer like a wooden veneer over top of it so it blends in a little bit better. Or do a neck through look to their instruments. And that's kind of what they did with their headless design. And the other thing I want to talk about is the neck. If I was not told that this was made in the USA, in Virginia, I would have said that this is probably an Asian imported neck because it's kind of got that overseas style truss rod. It's got that familiar scarf joint on the back. Despite making the neck stronger in that area, that's just what I normally associate with a lower end guitar. So as another nudge to the company to make their products appeal better to people, maybe do a single one-piece maple neck or go the distance of like a laminated neck, like a 3 or 5 piece maple with the walnut stripes. Something a little bit more exotic because I think that would help them sell more guitars. But going the other way, something that I want to gauge the audience's interest in this as well as ask Somnium again about this is why not do an import model of this? I understand that he wants to do USA made guitars. I've talked with Mark about this subject. That's the way he would prefer it, but he is a businessman. He's willing to listen to other ideas. So at what price point would you be enticed to pick one of these up? Do you care if it's made anywhere else? I think it would be great if we could see Glary and Somnium combine forces and make an okay guitar with this type of pickup swapping system. Because with a little bit of setup work, which Somnium is apparently very capable of doing, they could turn those cheap glary guitars into highly refined beasts that just have amazing pickups within them, which is the most important tone factor beside your hands within your guitar. And maybe to save even more costs on the import models, maybe they could make these out of plastic. And the only other thing I want to talk about is, in case you're a guitar manufacturer, Somnium is open to the idea of licensing out this design. It's patented, you can't steal it in the USA, but he's willing to work with another guitar manufacturer to make this into their guitars. And wouldn't that be interesting to see Gibson or Fender incorporate something like this, but maybe improve on the design a little bit? Now you might be saying, didn't they kind of already do that with like Firebird X and Robot guitars? I think these are different enough to people because they actually see the pickups, they see them, they can move them, they can feel them. It's not quite the same as a digital modeling. It is the actual pickup. So in the end, I enjoyed playing this guitar. I think there's some refinements that can be made to make it better and more attractive and more appealing to more people. But I would happily own this and use it as a demoer for all the pickups that I sell. So I hope you troglodytes enjoyed learning about the Somnium brand of guitars and what they are capable of doing. I also hope that you have a lot of fun participating in this giveaway contest. It's nice to actually give away something that's not a $20 ukulele. But thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.